In the quiet before the dawn, a subtle divide began to stir across the earth, a separation invisible to most, yet profound in its consequence. The light, pure and unyielding, stretched across the horizon, while shadows crept in corners of hearts, unseen but potent. And in that fragile pause between night and day, heaven whispered a call that few could hear, yet all would feel. It was a moment pregnant with eternity, a time when choices unseen by men echoed into the unseen realms. Some felt a stir within their soul, a whisper calling them to courage. Others ignored it, assuming life's routine was enough. But heaven had begun its work, and no life, and small, could escape its subtle hand. The world had grown accustomed to comfort, to gentle illusions that clouded the eyes of men. Cities buzzed with life, yet beneath the noise, a fracture formed, not of walls or borders, but of hearts. Some walked in the light, aware of the divine call. Others, though surrounded by truth, clung stubbornly to compromise, their souls shadowed by hesitation and fear. Every act of integrity, every whisper of faith, was like a spark of light, cutting through the gathering gloom. Every surrender to fear, every compromise, added weight to the shadows. And the separation, though invisible, was growing stronger. Perhaps, in our own lives, we face similar unseen divides, the tension between courage and compromise, faith and convenience. In homes and marketplaces, people moved as though blind, unaware that the choices of the heart were being tallied in eternity. A mother fed her children with love, unaware her sacrifice was a beam of light in the unseen cosmic ledger. A merchant hoarded wealth, blinded to the opportunity to bless others, his shadow growing heavier with each passing day. Angels watched from above, pools of divine light scanning the tapestry of human lives. They did not intervene with force, nor with fury. They observed with patient precision, noting each choice, each hesitation, each spark of faith or compromise. And as heaven's invisible hand moved, the world itself seemed to respond. The air sharper here, warmer there. The skies brighter above the resolute, dimmer over the hesitant. A quiet council stirred in the heavens, a ripple of presence scanning the tapestry of lives. Not to condemn, but to prepare to separate the wheat from the chaff, the resolute from the hesitant. The final work of heaven had begun. In a small village, a farmer's hands trembled as he divided his scant harvest to share with those in need. He had little, yet in his obedience, a profound light radiated into the unseen world. Nearby, a scholar pored over ancient texts, torn between truth and desire for acclaim. The temptation of recognition shadowed his conscience. Heaven observed quietly, allowing the ripple of each decision to unfold naturally, revealing hearts as they truly were. And maybe our own hidden battles are shaped by these unseen choices, the courage to act, the temptation to compromise. Across the cities, unnoticed dramas played out. A child, unaware of his own innocence, prayed with sincerity. And that prayer became a beacon in the unseen divide. A widow offered hospitality to a stranger, and in her action, light strengthened against the encroaching shadows. Every small act, unnoticed by the world, carried eternal weight. Time itself seemed to bend as heaven's work unfolded. The faithful were lifted, their courage strengthened by unseen hands. The compromised felt the gentle tug of conscience, an invisible invitation to turn toward the light, or to drift further into darkness. In grand cities and humble homes alike, the separation continued. The faithful found moments of clarity, courage surging in hearts that had once hesitated. The hesitant, though unaware of the cosmic scale, experienced unrest, unease, a whisper urging reflection. Some responded, stepping into courage. Others recoiled, choosing comfort over truth. A young woman walked through a crowded street and saw a beggar, shivering in the cold. Her choice seemed simple, pass by, as most did, but the whisper of God stirred within her, a call to light. She offered warmth, sustenance, and encouragement. And as she did, her small act became a light in the unseen divide, rippling farther than she could ever know. Every act of faith, no matter how small, carries the power to shape eternity. And every hesitation can cast a shadow far beyond our understanding. Heaven's work did not roar with thunder, nor blaze with fire. It moved with quiet precision, revealing what had always been true. Light and darkness cannot coexist perfectly. One must rise, the other recede. And in this divine separation, choices became destiny. Then came the moment of clarity. Across the earth, hearts aligned with faith were infused with courage, boldness that defied fear, a willingness to stand even when the world wavered. The compromised felt a subtle but undeniable tug of conscience, an invitation that could no longer be ignored. The choice was no longer theoretical, it was real, unavoidable. Mountains and rivers, forests and cities, bore witness to this quiet, cosmic sorting. Every soul faced the invisible test. Some shone, bright against the encroaching shadow. Others recoiled, shadows gathering where hesitation held sway. And heaven, patient and wise, allowed each decision to manifest fully, knowing the moment of separation had arrived. Even the smallest prayers, the quietest acts of obedience, carried eternal significance. Heaven's hand, though unseen, orchestrated the unfolding of destiny with precision. And for the first time, the faithful could see glimpses of the pattern forming, the final work of heaven, silent yet unstoppable. In one city, a teacher chose to protect truth despite ridicule. In a distant village, a young boy shared his meager meal with a stranger. Across oceans, hidden hearts chose courage over compromise, light over shadow. The invisible divide became visible in spirit, a quiet yet profound separation. And in this divine orchestration, heaven revealed a truth humanity had long forgotten. The world is not neutral. Every choice aligns us with eternity, whether we realize it or not. Perhaps now, in our own lives, we see the echoes of this hidden separation. Each decision, faithful or compromised, carries consequences unseen, shaping the eternal rhythm of light and darkness. The moment of separation concluded not with spectacle, but with clarity. Light prevailed where faith endured. Shadows receded where compromise could not stand. And those who had chosen courage, however quietly, now found themselves aligned with heaven's final work. The divine pattern was unmistakable. Heaven's work is patient, deliberate, and never idle. Every act of righteousness, every surrender to truth, contributes to shaping eternity. And every hesitation bears consequence, a shadow in the unseen ledger of souls. And so, the hidden separation continues, quiet, relentless, eternal. Every soul faces the same choice, every day, light or shadow, faith or compromise. And in that choice, heaven's final work is revealed, not in fire, not in wrath, but in the quiet courage of hearts aligned with the divine.